Hello, everybody. Welcome back once again to the Mana Cave. My name is Ed.
And my name's Travis.
And now we are doing something. We're putting on hold all the other showdowns that we have going on.
Intertwining ones and everything.
The Guild Kit Showdowns. The Challenger Deck Showdowns, which may not even be, any of them might not have been out yet. I'm not sure. And then we're jumping back to an old favorite, the Planeswalker Deck Showdowns, because War of the Spark recently was released. As of this recording, it was 2 weeks ago or a week ago, basically. A week and a couple days.
The pre-release was a week and a couple days. The actual release was 3 days.
Oh, that's right, too, because this is the Monday after the official release. I always forget with those pre-releases that's not when it's actually released, right? It's so these are
in the hearts, though.
Yes, yeah. I've done openings and overviews for the two Planeswalker decks. You guys seem to enjoy those. So if you're curious about what sort of the idea behind this deck, my thoughts on these decks, you can check out those two videos, and I'll sort of give you the overview. Just a quick note. I think I'm going to lose. I'm playing the Jace deck of the War of the Spark. So I've got Jace right here. I'm playing this deck. Travis, you are playing by process of elimination?
Gideon. Although it feels more like a Sorin deck.
Yeah.
Sorin?
Yeah, because it's Orzhov, right?
Yeah, it's Orzhov, and the few cards I've seen so far have been very, aristocrat-y.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of that.
Yeah. A lot of gain life, lose life for me. Me, lose life, you gain life. It's probably one of the most solidly built Planeswalker decks. Now, when we talk about Planeswalker decks, if we do sort of discuss it while we're playing and talk about power levels, we're talking about it in the terms of Planeswalker decks. So that is already a lower bar when it comes to power levels versus like Challenger decks, which would be up here. But as far as Planeswalker decks go, I think Gideon's is probably one of the best built decks in a long time. Yeah. Jace's deck, and this is what frustrates me. Jace's deck, I don't think is bad. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's going to compete with Gideon's deck. Nothing would make me happier than to be wrong on this. And I guess we're going to find out, but...
Jace's last deck, the one from Ixalan?
Yes.
Was quite good.
Yes.
Because it was a tribal one and built with a lot of synergy built throughout it kind of thing.
When they take the blue decks and the Planeswalker decks and they don't try to build a half-hearted attempt at a control deck, it can actually be quite good. And that Ixalan deck, or the Rivals, I can't remember which one it was. It was either Ixalan or Rivals. They basically said, okay, we'll forget about the actual sort of like control aspect of blue. We're going to make this a tribal deck with merfolk. Yeah. And this is similar to that in that they're embracing proliferate and putting counters on stuff more than anything. So it's not really, other than the tutor card in this, it doesn't really have much of a feel as far as control. There's no tempo shifts and stuff like that. Yeah. But it doesn't have the early game that the Gideon deck does. So I'm not expecting, I would love to win one game out of this match. I'm not fully expecting it, but who knows? I could be completely surprised, and I would love to be.
It wouldn't be the first time these decks have surprised us. Like that Vivian deck, mono green.
Yeah, that's great. I knew that was an okay deck, but I put my money on a completely different deck during M19, and that one, the Vivian deck, just performed way better than I thought it would. Yeah. So it's not like I haven't been wrong before. And as well too, if you bought the Jace deck and it doesn't perform well here, once again, check out the overview video because I talk about that. And if you prefer blue decks, if you prefer Simic decks, and you're worried you bought the wrong deck, you didn't. You bought the right deck. Because if you like blue, you like Simic, buy the blue or buy the Simic deck. And the alterations you need to make this deck, I think, competitive with the Gideon deck, it's very little.
Very little and very budget, I think, too.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you want to pump it up even more, we're even talking just a few...
Hydroid Crisis.
Not quite that much. I even mentioned in the video, I'm like, I'm not even going to mention Hydroid Crisis or whatever it's called, because it's like 30 something bucks. Yeah. So, but no, there's still budget cards which can elevate this even a little bit more, just up slightly above Planeswalker decks. But if you're just going to be playing against other Planeswalker decks, there's just a couple cards you can add to this, and you need just a little bit more of an early game with this deck. Anyways, enough sort of explaining why I'm about to lose, or thinking why I'm going to lose. But let's get to the game itself, unless you have something you want to say before we kick things off.
No, we got to roll the Seagulls first.
We do have to roll the Seagulls first, so I'm going to grab a green and blue die.
I'm going to black and white.
I roll 7.
It's not too bad. I'm all over the board, but I got 3.
3, nice. So 3 versus 7, that means I get to go first, which is great. Now, we both determined our opening hands off camera. Yep. And neither of us mulligan, so we're both starting off with 7, correct?
Correct, sir.
Okay, and when I show you my opening hand, this is probably the best this opening hand could really be for this deck, because keep in mind, for those of you unfamiliar, there are no one drops in this deck at all. You've got plenty. So I don't know what his opening hand is, but I won. So I won the die roll, which may be the only thing I win today. And that means I'm going to show first. So I'm going to show you guys my opening hand.
You were just exuding confidence on a level unbeknownst to
I
me.
think it's not a lack of confidence. It's just an overwhelming
abundance of knowledge.
yeah, or just being tethered to reality. So this is the opening hand, and once again, it's not bad. I don't think it's bad. So we're going to see how it stacks up against Travis's opening hand, and I'm going to bow my head now to you, sir, and you can show off yours.
Alrighty. So there's my opening hand, held right up to the camera. Perfect position, taking up the full screen. And yeah,
Well done.
Well done.
That's it.
So we talked a bit before about what my biggest fear is that your first 2 turns are going to consist of Charm Stray, followed by Johnny's Pridemate. So I'm hoping that's not going to be the case, but who knows? I'm going to play a Forest and pass the turn to you.
You tapped and did something. I'd be like, you just been like, mess with my head the whole game.
The entire time.
I will draw a card. And I'm going to play this card right now because it's going to enter tapped anyway. So the Orzhov Guildgate taps for black or white, enters the battlefield tapped.
Already a smoother start for me than I thought it was going to be. So
back to you.
Okay, here we go. If I can draw just one card, there we go. I'm going to play an island, and I'm going to tap for 2, including 1 green. I'm going to cast one of the few 2-drops in this deck, Pollen Bright Druid. So it is a 1/1 elf druid creature, and when it enters the battlefield, I can choose one. I can either put a +1/+1 counter on target creature that includes itself, or I can proliferate. I'm going to put a +1/+1 counter on it because there's no counters to proliferate. For those of you who don't know, 1, I am horrible at pronouncing the word proliferate more than once. It quickly becomes proliferate. But it means choose any number of permanents and or players, then give each another counter of each kind already there. So +1/+1 counters. If you go way back in the Wayback Machine, poison counters on a player, or loyalty counters on a planeswalker.
Which is the big one for this set.
Yeah. And I can even target Travis's creatures or planeswalkers. I'm not going to.
In multiplayer games, though, it might come in handy.
Especially if you have like a -1/-1 counter thing, then it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So, okay.
I misread that card when it first was spoiled, and I was thinking that it was do both.
Oh, yeah.
And I was freaking out. I'm like, because you can do, I can't remember what it was. Turn 1 was something that came with a counter, and it's like, then you got to proliferate, and all this crazy stuff happens.
Yeah, because if you put the +1/+1 counter and then proliferate, then it would be a 3/3 starting off, which would be amazing, but that doesn't do that.
I can't remember the combo I had in my head, but there's like 2 cards. Like, this is your first 2. And then I realized, no, you got to choose one. Okay.
It still is useful. Like, both of them are good. Like, early game, it's great for the counter, and late game, it's great for proliferate. It's going to be hard to say as I drink more Mike's Hard Peach Lemonade. Not a sponsor, but I'm open to it. Travis, your turn.
I will untap, draw.
God, that's good.
Play a swamp. Straight up swamp.
There we go.
Tap 2, 1 being black, 1 being anything, for simply a Vampire Opportunist. It's a 2/1 vampire.
Okay.
For 6 in the black, though, it has a activated ability. So I got that right? Because I'm activating it if I choose to. It's activated ability.
Yes.
There we go. Each opponent loses 2 life, and I gain 2 life. So it's got an activated ability.
Yeah, it's nice late game mana sink.
Hashtag late game mana sink. I passed you. I was 2 mana.
Okay, so my turn. Okay, so I'm going to draw. I will play an island. I'm going to then tap for 3, including 1 blue, and I'm going to cast Guildpact Informant. It's a 1/1 fairy rogue flyer, and when it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, proliferate. I'm not going to swing with my 2/2.
Okay.
And we're just going to pass the turn back to you.
So you already got some mojo going on there.
It's going better than I thought it would, so pretty happy about this.
I'll play planes.
Okay.
Yeah, just those 2. Tap a white, tap a black.
Okay.
For the Cruel Celebrant. So it's a 1/2 vampire, and whenever Cruel Celebrant or another creature or planeswalker I control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, and I gain 1 life.
Okay. Okay.
Now the question is, do I tap? I mean, it does make, unfortunately, I have nothing to really do about that, so that will proliferate.
Yeah.
But I can still keep it up to block. Because the proliferate would happen after.
Yeah, it would. Basically, combat damage would go through If I swang in, there's a good word to make up. If I swung in with both of them, damage would happen simultaneously. So that would do 2 damage to you. This would do 1, and then it would proliferate.
So against my better nature, I'm just going to pass to you. Because...
Oh, okay. Untap. Wow. Interesting choices. Okay, so I'm going to play a Simic Guildgate, which enters the battlefield tapped. I'm going to tap it for green or blue. I'm then going to tap 3, including 1 green for a sorcery, and cast Courage in Crisis. It's a sorcery, as I mentioned before. I don't know why I'm repeating myself there. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, then proliferate. So part of me wants to do another one on the Pollen Bright Druid, but I think that's a bad idea. So I'm going to put a +1/+1 counter on the Guildpack Informant, and then I'm going to proliferate, and that's going to add additional counters to them both. So now they're both 3/3s. One of them's got flying. I'm going to move to combat.
Move to combat, sir.
I'm going to swing in with the Guild Pact Informant for 3.
I have no way to block a flyer and nothing to do with my 1 mana, so I have to take 3.
Okay, so this does combat damage to you, and then I get to proliferate once again. So now this is a 4/4, and this is a 4/4. Pass the turn to you.
This is looking good for you, man.
This is looking way better than I thought it would be for me.
Another planes. Once again, trying to establish, do I want this attack? Because now you just eat it for 1 point. Whereas, I think I have to hold up to block. Yeah, I hold up to block.
Hold back block?
Yep.
Okay, on tap. I'm going to play an island. I'm going to do this. I'm going to tap for 4, including a green. I cast Bloom Hulk. It's a 4/4 plant elemental, and when it enters the battlefield, I can proliferate. So another counter is going to go on each of these. So it's 5/5, and this is a 5/5 flyer.
Okay. I could wait, but...
Sorry, 5/5, there we go.
I'm going to...
Are you going to be cruel to me?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I could have responded to the casting of that before it into the battlefield and done that. But
it doesn't matter, right?
No, because it's exactly even.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to cast an instant speed of Nix's Cruelty, 1 black, 2 of anything. Target creature is -5/-5 until end of turn. If creature would die this way, exile it.
Yeah. So I'm assuming the informant?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is going to be exiled.
You still have 9 power on the board.
Yeah, it's once again, it's certainly not the worst start that I was imagining. It's a much better start than I thought was going to happen. I'm still going to move to combat.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and swing it with a 5/5.
Okay.
By ground this time.
I am going to block there.
Okay.
So at least I'm saving 5 damage.
Yeah. And that dies.
That dies. You lose 1, I gain 1.
Yeah. So I'm down to 19. Okay, so now it is your turn, sir.
All right. I hope I got something to save me here, because I'm staring down a nasty board. Swamp's not going to do it.
Some more cruelty, because you do get, I believe, 3 of those in the deck, so.
Okay. I will tap for 3. 1 white, 2 of anything for the old trusted Pegasus.
Okay.
So it's a flying 2/2. Whenever it attacks target creature without flying, gains flying until end of turn. And I'll also tap a black and white for another Cruel Celebrant.
Okay.
That taps me out. I'm not going to attack into your 4/4 with my 1/2.
But now that triggers twice, essentially. Even if it's one of the because it's not other creatures, right? It's whenever a creature.
It's whenever Cruel Celebrant or another creature or Planeswalker I control dies.
So if you were to throw one of them under the bus, you would still get a double trigger the first time, and then
Yeah.
Okay, my turn.
Your turn, sir.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to tap for green and 2 blue, and I'm going to cast, it's an aura enchantment called New Horizons. So I enchant land. When New Horizons enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature I control. So I'm going to put one on the Bloom Hulk. And then enchanted land has tap, add 2 mana of any one color. So I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to move to combat now.
Okay.
And I'm going to swing in. They're both 5/5s. I'm going to swing into them both.
See, the thing is, most power I have is 4. See, this is actually a terrible position for me. Because even if there's no point in all blocking, putting all on 1, because one will live, but it won't kill anything either way.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm going to chump at least one of them with my Pegasus, and maybe hope to keep my 2 Celebrants alive for a better later play. It's just a chump at this point, though. Neither have any proliferate on damage shenanigans.
No,
so it's
nothing
really
like that. No,
choosing.
they're pretty much just creatures on the board now, and that's all they do, other than the fact they have counters on them.
So I'll say I'll block that one. So I'm
Okay.
still taking
So you're
5.
taking 5.
Drop down to 13.
That dies.
That does die.
Both of those trigger, so you're going to gain 2 and I'm going to lose 2, so I'm down to 17.
Up to 15.
I'm then going to... I have to do it this way because New Horizons forces me to add 2 mana of any one color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap for blue, and I'm going to tap for this one for green, and I'm going to bring out the Merfolk Skydiver. So it's got flying, and when it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, and then I can pay 3 and a green and a blue and to proliferate. So that's not a tap ability, just a regular mana sink ability. So I'm going to put a +1/+1 counter on the Skydiver.
I was really hoping to see that in my previous kit. I did not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I'm ordering that for my Simic +1 counter deck.
You know what? You may want to be able to hold off on that because I can actually get you a foil version of that if you'd like.
Super fancy.
Yeah? You know, so this is for a commander deck?
For my +1/+1 counter commander deck. Simic.
Well, you have a foil version of it coming to you now. So, because that's how much I care about you.
It's
And
going to be
your commander
consolidation
decks.
prize at this point. 'Cause,
Okay. So now I'm all tapped out and now it's your turn.
untap. Really just top deck in here. Play another plans.
Wow. You
Yeah, tap 3 for another. Whoops, that's the Trusted Pegasus. So I get another chump, but wow. Obviously not attacking. Pass back to you.
okay. I don't want to get confident.
You got beefy guys there, though.
Yeah, but I don't want to get confident because I've lost from better positions. I think I say this every single time we play, and I'm sort of somewhat in the lead as I've lost from better position. And then I've lost sometimes, so. Okay. Well, so that's going to cost 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to move to... No, what I'm going to do... Sorry. I'm not going to move to combat because I realize this is not an instant speed card. I'm going to tap for 2 blue and then 1 of whatever. And I'm going to cast Stealth Mission. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. That creature can't be blocked this turn. So I'm actually going to put the 2 +1/+1 counters on... I'm going to put them on the Merfolk Skydiver, which may seem weird because it's probably better for swinging one of these ones. But so the Skydiver is going to get 2 more counters. So now it's a 4/4 flyer that can't be blocked this turn.
Yeah.
I'm going to move to combat.
Okay.
I'm going to swing in with everything? Question mark?
No, that's solid. Because now I gotta basically put 2 chumps.
Okay.
Because again, there's no way I can team up on anything and kill it.
Yeah, and this can't be blocked, so you can't even block it with the Pegasus, right?
Yeah.
So
I might as well minimize the damage and at least get 2 more triggers.
okay. So damage is going to go through. You're going to take 4.
4, so I drop first down to 11.
Mm-hmm. But then you're going to
Go up to 13.
gain 4.
Gain 4, gain 2.
So
Oh,
this
no, there are
triggers
2 creatures
twice.
down,
This
yes.
triggers twice. So you're going to gain
Yeah.
4. I'm going to lose 4.
Yeah.
You haven't hit me once with an actual combat. I'm down to 13. So you're actually you're in.
Up to 15. Then.
Yeah, so you're actually winning as far as life totals go.
Yeah, but as far as a 1-2 on the board and how much power do you have now? That's
This is a
14?
4/4. This is a 5/5, and this is a 5/5.
14 with the onboard proliferate.
Yeah. I'm going to tap out for 3, and I'm going to cast Jace's Triumph. It's sorcery, draw 2 cards. If I control a Jace Planeswalker, draw 3 cards instead. But I just get to draw 2 because I don't have a Jace Planeswalker. So draw 2. And I'll pass the turn to you now.
Are there board wipes in this game? Or in this deck?
No, but you have some cards, some great late game cards. And you're actually, what are you at? 3/6 mana? You're right about there.
I'll pass to you.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm going to play a forest. I'm going to move to combat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to swing in with everything.
Now, I know you can instant speed proliferate, but at least I'm going to make you have to do that.
Okay.
So I'm going to tap for 2 to cast Desperate Lunge. Instant. Target creature gets +2/+2, and gains flying till end turn. I gain 2 life. So it doesn't even really kill it. I was thinking my 2/2 before, actually. But
you are going to gain 2 life from it.
He gains flying, I can block there, which doesn't actually even force you to proliferate either.
No, it doesn't force me to.
So, well, I gain 2 life.
You gain 2 life, yeah.
So up to 17. And I guess at this point, I am going to pick one of the bigger dudes just because why not?
Sure.
But they're both still the same.
These are both 5/5s,
Yeah.
but this is still just a 4/4.
I'll pick the middle guy because, I don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to tap for 2 blue, another blue, so that's 3, and then 4 and 5. That's all I need for the trigger, and then everything goes up. An additional counter. Okay, so now this is a 6/6, 6/6, and a 5/5.
So that's 11.
Yep.
Drops me to 6. Oh, 6.
Your guy dies. You still got me down to 12 as well, too, which is amazing.
I go back up to 7.
And then I'm going to pass the turn to you. I'm so glad I started off this game with this big, long speech about how I'm going to lose and all this stuff, and now it feels like I've been rubbing things in. So.
Well, here's the one you're looking for.
Oh, is it? Oh, no.
Charmstray.
Oh, not that.
Charmstray is a 1/1 for 1 lifelink in cat, and when it enters the battlefield, put +1 counter on each other creature you control named Charmstray. Oh, that's just a bonus.
Yeah, and you get 4 of them in the deck, so that's, yeah. But right now, not such a great late game card. I thought it was a different card. I thought it was Command the Dreadhorde, in which case you actually could possibly come back. So I'm going to draw.
I'm just going to pay life for that one?
You,
I no longer have that much life to pay for.
Yeah, but I'm going to move to combat.
Yeah.
I'll swing it with everything.
I'll plunk one there and still die horribly.
Still dying. Take it. I'm not even going to proliferate.
And I even had opening hand...
Cruelty. Yeah. Cruelty right off the bat. That's one of the cards, that's one of the several bits of removal you have in that deck.
Yeah. I like that it's an instant. It feels like it should be at a common level a sorcery.
It has that feel as well too, especially, I mean, I know it's unconditioned, or it's I know it's conditional because it's -5/-5, but that still takes care of most things. Yeah. And it exiles it as well too. So it's usually, unless you're facing off against one of the God Eternals, chances are you're just never going to see that creature again. So, okay, now, my whole goal with this was to get 1 win out of this match. So I got my 1 win, so no matter what happens from here on out, I'm happy. We're going to see if my luck holds out. We're going to move on to the second game right after this.
No, I don't know why you're playing about your deck. You had lots of 2-drops, a solid 4-drop, and you didn't need much more than that.
Because the whole thing is, I just keep envisioning you opening up... Charmstray, turn 2 with Johnny's Primate. And if that happens, I'm not catching up, ever. Because not only are you gaining life constantly, you're pumping up other creatures. And you have other creatures which get pumped up because of life gain and stuff. So if you're on curve with some of that, that's it. That's absolutely it. But this, like I said, I also had probably the best opening hand this deck could ever hope for. So then that worked out. But as well, too, there's also the chance I was just flat out wrong, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often. So when it happens, it's kind of nice to make note and go, hey, this is a special event. Enjoy it while it lasts. So none of this is going to make it into the video anyway. And we're back in the second game of this match. Travis, did you mulligan?
I did not.
And neither did I, but I'm not super crazy about my hand. Wait a second.
There's one card.
It's like I made a horrible mistake
by leaving confidence. Apparently,
by leaving one of my cards on the table. I did not mulligan either, though. For a second, I thought I did. However, you get to go first, so you get to show your hand first.
Okay. There would be my opening hand. It's a fair bit different than last time, but last time didn't work so well, so that's good news, right? All right.
My turn?
Back to you, sir.
Okay, now when you guys see this hand, keep in mind, 1, I'm on the draw, and 2, there is a card here which can maybe make this work eventually. So don't judge me too harshly. I'm also coming off a win, so I'm on winner's high right now. Probably a little bit overconfident, but there we go. That's my hand. You get to go first.
I will draw no card, sir. No card.
No card.
I will play a Plains, however.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tap that Plains. For the Charm Stray that we did see last time.
God, it's the beginning that I've always dreaded.
1/1 lifelinker. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on each other creature you control named Charm Stray. And no haste with that lifelink, but back to you.
God. You can't possibly want haste to go along with that's too much. You're asking for too much.
I often do when it comes to... I want everything to have haste.
Forest, and I'll pass the turn to you.
Tap.
Really wishing I hadn't
Draw.
kept this hand now.
I will play Plains. Tap.
Is that a Plains?
Swamp. Tap 2 for Johnny's Pride.
Oh, no.
2/2. Whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter on a Johnny's Pride Mate.
It's everything I ever hoped wouldn't happen. Okay.
So now we're going to combat.
Yep.
Attacking with my 1/1 lifelinker.
Okay, so I'm going to lose 1 life.
I'm going to gain 1 life. Well, that works much better than this whole things having to die thing. You just have lifelink, and you just gain that. So I put a +1 counter on my Johnny's Pride Mate. He's now a 3/3.
So boned in this game.
He's out of shock range, but still in lightning strike range. I passed you.
Okay. I'm so screwed. Okay, Forest. Best turn to you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Tap.
Yeah, this is so bad. This was a bad choice to keep this hand.
Okay, I will play a Plains. There's that Plains I was talking about this whole time.
Uh-huh.
I will tap 1.
No. Do you really? Oh, God.
For another Charm Stray. So there's a trigger right off the bat, which is kind of a neat trigger. So it's going to enter the battlefield, and I'm going to put a +1 counter on each other creature I control. Unfortunately, it's each other creature named Charm Stray. So Charm Stray becomes a 2/2. I'm going to go to combat.
Alrighty.
So I'm going to swing him with both.
For 5 in total.
5 in total.
Okay, so I'm down to 14.
It's a 2/2 lifelinker now, so I'm going to go up 2, up to 23, and Johnny's Pride Mate will get a second +1 counter.
Oh,
I passed you.
I feel so bad about the hand I kept now. Just, oh, okay. So now I have a choice. Okay, I almost have to do this instead. I'm gonna play another Forest.
It's a lot of trees, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to tap for 3. No, I'm not. Sorry, I'm going to tap for 2. I was originally going to tap for 3, but now I'm going to just cast the Pollen Bright Druid. So we saw it before, so I'm going to put the counter on it.
You're going to proliferate?
No. And now I'm just going to have to pass the turn to you.
Okay. Untap. Draw. I'll play an Orzhov Guildgate, because I'll forget to do it if I don't do it now.
I thought you went Australian there for a second. Guildgate. That was the worst Australian accent as well, too. So
I'm going to go to combat.
Yeah.
Okay. So attacking with all 3.
All 3. Okay, well, I'll put the 2/2 in front of the 1/1.
Okay. I'm going to double check that isn't instant. Yes. Tap 2.
No, I know what this is now. We saw it before, right?
Yeah. Desperate Lunge. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains flying until end of turn. I gain 2 life. So first off, there's that life gain of 2 life.
Yes, yeah.
Which will pop that up to a 3 and pop it up to 25.
So right now this is a 5/5.
5/5.
This is a 2/2. And
this
that's going to get pumped up 2 more.
Yeah, so it's a 3/3.
Okay, and this is something I talked about in the video as well, too, is that there's a difference between total life gained and instances of life gained.
Yeah.
So that was one instance. That's why that triggers.
Yeah.
These are 2 separate creatures, both with lifelink. That's going to be 2 separate instances of life gained once damage goes through. So damage goes through.
Okay.
Druid dies.
So I will gain 5 life.
Mm-hmm.
Up to 30.
And then you did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage to me in total. So I'm down to 7. And then
Just die and apparently turn out.
and now you gain 2 more counters on it, right?
Yeah, so it goes from 3 to a 4 to a 5. So it's now a 7/7.
I am so embarrassed by keeping this hand now. Okay.
And I passed 2.
Now, as well, too, I don't think there's much in the way of hands I could have kept
That would have competed
with this anyways.
Yeah. Like,
I'll do this just to show what I was... Okay, I'll do the Simic Guildgate, so it enters battlefield tapped. But I'm going to tap for 3 green. You had a slightly slower start last game, and that's why I thought maybe I could wait till 3 and do New Horizons. so I could get my blue sources.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is going to go, I'll put this on one of the forests.
But did I really have a slower start? No, because I had like 2 drops, a 3 drop.
You had
But
a less
I didn't have that.
insane start. Let's put it that way. We're not saying slower, but not so that I was taking 5 on turn 2 or something, or whatever it ended up being, or like on 3 or something like that. But yeah, you had a slow enough start where I thought I could make this work.
Yeah.
Had I known that was your opening hand, no. I never would have kept this at all. So I kept the line without any islands, thinking I could get New Horizons off to get my blue going. So pass the turn to you.
So
All
New
tapped
Horizons
out.
is... Oh, you wanted to play that guy, right. Okay.
I just wanted to play to show why I kept the hand I did. Because I mean I did have a 2-drop, but it was blue involved for it. So
Okay. I'll just...
tapped out. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
swing forth.
Okay, so that was, and that's an impressive amount of damage on turn, whatever this ended up being. I think turn 4 or 5.
This would be turn 5 because I could play my 5th land.
Oh yeah, so this would be turn 5.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, what else did you have in your hand?
I had that makeshift battalion one, but more importantly, I did draw into Gideon.
Oh,
But
Gideon.
he's 6th.
Yeah.
You know, we used to actually read the Planeswalkers before the decks even.
But because
we
we
got going,
determine
right?
our opening hands now before
Yeah,
that,
we
we
can't
don't usually. Do you want to read them just in case?
Sure, we see him. Like, well, you didn't see him, but for 6 mana, 2 white, and no black, which would be weird to have like a Orzhov Gideon.
Yeah.
But it's 6 mana total for a 4 loyalty Planeswalker, and his static ability is whenever you attack with 2 or more non-Gideon creatures, put a +1 count on each of those creatures. Which I was in a nice position to have that happen. He has a +2 where until the end of turn, Gideon the Oathsworn becomes a 5/5 white soldier creature that's still a Planeswalker. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to him. Okay, I want to make sure it wasn't to and by him. He can't attack if he was cast his turn. So
Basically,
has he always had that?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
essentially whenever a planeswalker can turn into a creature, it can't attack the first turn because it still suffers from the summoning sickness rules.
Yeah.
So
It's very similar to vehicles in that sense.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He has a -9, which is pretty impressive. When Gideon the Oathsworn and exile Gideon the Oathsworn at each creature your opponent's control. So it's like a board wipe to give rid of him and all
Yeah,
that?
I think it's very story based. Not to spoil anything with the story, but at this point, most people probably know the story where he essentially sacrifices himself. And it's funny that you mentioned it would be weird if he was Orzhov, but maybe not because he did use the Black Blade, right? That's the whole thing. Is that it didn't work out for him,
And he did ride Rakdos.
Yeah,
Awesome
which is a
art.
great card. Yeah, I really like that card. So Travis, you've tied it up.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I thought the first game would go.
And now I get it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's if you have that start, it's very difficult. Like I said, I even if I had gotten my turn 2 play out, which still would have at most have been a 2/2.
Yeah.
I still would have had a hard time dealing with that
Because by then I'd already had, I think, the combat trick in play. So it's like,
and the fact that you had the second stray as well too. That that just was the final nail in the coffin on turn 3. So.
Opening hand was 4 lands, 2 strays, and the Pride Mate.
That's all you need. That's all you need. I would have kept that in a heartbeat.
And I was worried that I'm like, oh, that's a lot of low to the ground stuff. But no, it'll get there. It'll get there.
It would have been impossible. Especially as well too, you were on the play.
Yeah.
Which meant that you got that stray out, and there's no 1-drops in this deck, so you would definitely be able to swing with the stray at least once.
And even if you had that 0/3, I could still swing with him.
Yeah.
Won't do any damage, but I'll still gain the life. And then if
it would have held you off a little bit longer. That's why I like the idea of that Grazer being in this deck, even though it's completely not in the deck. Maybe one day I'll go ahead and we can retry this with the Grazer. But still, we've got another game in this match. So we're going to shuffle up. We're going to deal new hands. I'm not going to keep a similar hand, folks. Don't worry. Travis will definitely keep a similar hand if that comes up.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll be right back in just a moment. And we are back in the third and deciding game of this match. You had a mulligan down to 6, correct?
I did. Yeah. It was
And I'm not crazy about my opening hand, but I still think it's okay. And once again, there will be absolutely nothing I can do to compete with him and yes, I'm not even referring to him by name now. He's simply become him. To compete with him if you start off with the Stray and Pride Mate. So I can't think of that and go, okay, I have to have a hand to answer that. Because I don't have anything that can really answer it for the most part. So I kept what I think is still an okay opening hand. Once again, not the fastest, but this is not a fast running deck. Now I do get to go first, so I'm going to show first, and then you're going to show your hand and also show your scry as well too, correct?
Correct, because I'm kind of counting on that scry.
Okay. So that is my opening hand. As you can see, it's not the greatest. Not the worst, because I think we've already seen the worst opening hand I could have gone for, and that was in the last game. So, Travis, I bow my head to you now, sir.
Here is my opening hand, which is not awesome, but it's a seed that may grow a decent tree. Let's get the scry. I'm gonna keep that on top, I guess. Maybe we'll see. Yeah, that one is on top.
Okay. Oozing confidence. I'm going to start off by playing a Simic Guildgate. Enters tapped. Pass to you.
Okay. I'm going to draw. And I'm going to start off by playing an Orzhov Guildgate. Enters tapped.
To me.
Yeah. Slow relax.
I'm going to play a forest and pass to you.
Untap. Into the mystery cards here now. Playing a swamp. Then I'll tap 1 white for the... We'll call it the Charm Stray. 1/1 lifelink. You know him.
Okay.
Pretty kitty.
But he can't swing in right away.
Pretty kitty can't swing in right away.
Okay.
Pass to.
Pass to me. I'm going to play an island. I'm going to tap for 3, including... Well, it doesn't matter what it includes, because it's going to be for Kyora, Behemoth Beckoner. So she's one of the uncommon planeswalkers. 7 loyalty. Her static ability is whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. And her -1 is untap target permanent. So that would include a land if I wanted to do that right away. We all know I have no one drops, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave her a 7/7. So that's pretty much my turn, and I'm going to pass it to you now.
Untap. Draw. Tap 2. I mean, you're going to be like, oh no, not again. With the
Oh no, not
mates.
again.
Now, here's the interesting thing: is I'm not going to attack your planeswalker.
I didn't think you would. I honestly don't think. I mean, it doesn't make sense, right?
When they can't go up and do anything crazy, sometimes like it's an onboard untap, which can be significant, but it will eventually ticker down, kind of thing.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
You do have some card draw potential, though, because you do have bigger people, so I might end up regretting that. But a 1 damage, like I'm not going to be ticking that down anytime soon. So we'll go to combat.
Okay.
Attack you with the stray.
I'm going to take 1. Puts me down to 19.
Go up 1, and we've seen this before.
Yeah.
Put a +1
El
counter.
Trigo.
Now I'm not going to play a land, and I'll pass to you.
Okay.
No
land. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Oh, there's a big chance. Like, I'm looking at a lot of, not a lot of 1s and 2s in my hand here, that's for sure.
Okay. I was actually going to do something kind of different than this, but now I think I don't have a whole lot of choice because of your board. I'm going to tap for 4, including 1 green. I'm going to play Bloom Hulk. So when it enters the battlefield, proliferate. I don't have any +1/+1 counters on creatures, but I am able to put another counter on Kyora. So now she's at 8. And I can actually put that there because she is at 8.
And her first ability will...
Yeah, her first ability will trigger because this is a creature with power 4 or greater, so I do get to draw a card on top of this, which is good for me. Card draw is always nice. And Travis, I'm going to pass the turn now to you.
Untap. Not hitting lands is really hurting me. I will just go to combat.
I'm pretty sure there's a trick involved here. I can force you to play it. The worst choice right now. I'm not going to block it.
Okay.
I want to keep my Hulk around.
Okay. So just damage.
Damage?
No lifelink.
No lifelink. Okay, so I'm taking 3, correct?
3.
Down to 16.
And I tap for 1 white to play another Charm Stray.
Oh, okay.
So putting a +1 counter on the first Charm Stray and passing to you.
Passing it. Okay. Tap. Draw. I'm going to play a forest. I'm going to tap for 3, including 1 green. And I'm going to cast an instant, but I'm doing it now anyways. Band Together. Up to 2 target creatures you control each deal damage equal to their power to another target creature. So up to 2, so just the Bloom Hulk, and it's going to deal the damage to a Johnny's Pridemate.
Cool. That's 3 damage.
I'm then going to...
I like that card too.
Man, I don't necessarily want to do this, but I'm going to -1 Kyora down to 7.
That's what she's there for. What do you mean you don't want to do this?
And then I'm going to untap a Forest as my permanent. I'm then going to tap for 3, including 1 blue. I'm going to cast Jace's Triumph to draw 2 cards. So draw 2. And now I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Come on, just give me a land. Oh. I'll tap 2 without playing land to cast the Cruel Celebrant. Come on, man.
Okay, now to be 100% fair to you, like I don't know what the rest of your hand was. But I know you had the Strays, and I know you had a Johnny's Pridemate. You had the tap land for your white source.
I scryed Johnny's Pridemate on the top with 2 lands.
Oh, okay.
But how do you not keep a Johnny's Pridemate?
But I still think, even if you just started with the 2 Charm Stray, I would have kept that open. I would have kept probably a very similar opening hand to you. And also as well, to keep in mind, he did mulligan. Yeah. So it's...
But my scry was a Pridemate, and I'm like, I needed a land.
You're also far from losing this game, so it's like, okay.
I pass back to you.
Okay.
No, far from losing, but I'm like, there's 3 land drops in a row, and you got every land you can need plus Cura or
I've done fairly well for land, better than I probably should have. I'm going to play a Forest to keep the rubbins going. I'm going to tap for 2 blue and 2 of whatever, and I'm going to cast Jace's Projection. So it's just a 2/2 Wizard Illusion, but whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Jace's Projection. And I can also pay 3 and 1 blue to put a loyalty counter on target Jace Planeswalker. So right now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 power in front of me, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to move to combat.
Okay.
And I'm going to swing in with the Bloom Hulk.
On this turn, I'm just going to take it.
Okay.
No blocks. So I drop down to 17.
I'm going to -1 on my second main phase now after damage. I'm going to -1 Kyora. So now she's down to 6. Because remember, she did go up to 8. And I'm going to untap the Bloom Hulk. And I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Planes! Alright. Now I have options. Okay. I'm obviously not going to attack. But, I will pass to you, obviously.
Okay.
I'm not attacking. Pass
so
to you.
I'm going to untap. I'm going to draw. That's going to trigger Jace's Projection. It's going to get a +1/+1 counter. This is the reason why I didn't necessarily want to do Jace's Triumph at that time, because I did have that in hand, and I was kind of hoping to get, greedy with it. But so I draw. I'm going to play an island. I'm going to tap 2 blue, 2 green to bring out Jace's Projection.
No.
I'm going to tap... I'm going to tap for 3 to bring out Guild Pact Informant, which we saw before. So that's if it deals damage to you or Planeswalker, I can proliferate.
And it's got flying. That's good.
I can swing with the Bloom Hulk, but I'm fairly certain you've got the trick in hand, which should still be okay for me because it means that I should be able to at least still trade with one of your creatures, which may be worth it with the Bloom Hulk. But I don't really have much of another board. You know what? I don't think I You know what? I'm going to move to combat.
Okay.
I am going to swing in with the Bloom Hulk, the 4/4.
I'm not doing it again. It's hurting.
Okay.
Drop down to 13 now.
I'm going to put her down to 5 and untap the Bloom Hulk. And I pass the turn to you.
Okay. Once again, you are not a land. I'm going to tap 3, though.
Okay.
To cast Oath of Kaya. When
Oh.
Oath of Kaya enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to any target, and I gain 3 life. Whenever an opponent attacks a Planeswalker I control with 1 more creatures, Oath of Kaya deals 2 damage to that player, and I gain 2 life. Now, I think I actually have to hit the flyer, because I got no way to block a flyer anytime soon.
Okay. So 3 to this.
3 to that.
This is going to die, and then you gain 3.
Yeah, so I got the 16. And
Now, this is just whatever creature you control, right?
whenever creature I control or
Okay.
or Planeswalker I control.
Okay, but not when one of my creatures die. Okay,
No,
so
it's
good. Okay.
that really sucks, because I really, really was hoping to just, turn around here. But
Yeah.
I got to pass back to you. At least I gained 3
It's
life.
tough when you're mana screwed. Even with that deck, it can be tough when you're mana screwed. So, okay, draw, trigger. So, there and there from the projections. I will play. I'm gonna play Simic Guildgate. I'm gonna move to combat.
Okay.
You're tapped out, correct?
I'm tapped out.
So I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, still 4 power, and it hasn't changed from the last time I said it. I'm just gonna swing in with the Bloom Hulk.
I'm going to take it. Unless you have a combat trick.
No. Okay, so I'm going to
Then down to 12.
minus Kyora again to untap the Bloom Hulk, and then I'm going to tap for
Oh boy. You got a lot.
1, 2 green, and then 4 of whatever to bring out the Primordial Worm, which is a 7/6 vanilla creature, but it's still a 7/6 creature. Pass the turn now to you. Oh, sorry, Kyora triggers, actually. I forgot about that part of it. This is power 4 or greater, so I draw a card. Okay, so now it's your turn. Oh, I draw a card, and then these trigger.
Yeah.
As well, too.
I think it's official, though, that I'm just too late to get caught up here. How, even if this is a land, how is this not land?
Oh, no.
And the thing is, with what I have here is just everything, which is obviously I've been choosing not to block because I really need these creatures to get stuff going, but I passed you.
Passed to me? Okay.
Yeah.
So untap. Draw 2 triggers. 4. Okay, so I'm gonna play an island. I'm gonna move to combat.
Okay.
I'm gonna. I mean, you got 2 land up. I know that for sure, but I'm gonna swing in with.
You have 3 land up.
Yes, you got 3 land up. Sorry,
You're thinking of the 2 for the one spell in particular.
I'm gonna swing in with the Bloom Hulk. I'm gonna swing in with the Primordial Worm, and I'm gonna swing in with just 1 of the Jace's projections. Part of me thinks I should swing in 2 of the projections. I'm just gonna swing in with the 6/6 projection.
6, 4. So damage-wise, I need to do 4, 6, or 6.
Yeah.
If I want to make this actually worthwhile. Yeah. So we can easily kill the Bloom Hulk, and then he can kill probably a lot of them, but not all of them.
It's important to point out at this point as well too that lifelink damage is simultaneous with regular damage. So I could do lethal damage to Travis, but if he is able to have enough lifelink to put him back up, it's gonna all happen at once, so he's not gonna die.
Yeah, I think I got to put them all on the. I want to put them all on the one guy that still can grow, but
No, I got you. Yeah.
I mean, because that'll be 11. But I think I'm actually I will do because there's only 1 difference at this point.
Okay.
And you might still be able to draw a card instant speed here and pump them, but we'll see. So I am gonna tap.
So all 3 are gonna block Jace's projection.
All 3 are blocking each special. I am gonna tap 2 for Desperate Lunge. Now that's gonna happen first, so I'll gain the 2. So at least that's a little more breathing room, but not much. And now I got to figure out who's getting that.
Okay, so before you do that, this is how it basically should go, so that you have a better idea as to who to put it on if you want to. The way I'm going to divvy up the damage is I'll put I was going to put like 2 on this, 2 on that, and then 1 on that. So basically this one, and then this one.
I was going to put it on one of these 2 anyway.
Okay.
So there's nothing I do except I can only save 1 of them anyway. So I'll save the one with the counter on it, obviously.
Okay.
And plus they have lifelink, so that's going to help out too.
Okay.
Hey folks, Ed here. I'm just pausing the video for a moment to explain a mistake I make here. Now, when there's an attacker that has multiple blockers put in front of it, as the player who is attacking, all I have to do at the beginning is assign an order to which damage is going to be dealt to those blockers. I didn't have to predetermine how much damage would be dealt to each of those blockers. So, when Travis plays his trick here of Desperate Lunge and gives one of his creatures +2/+2, no matter which one he puts it on, the only creature, because of the order in which I'm blocking, which is the Cruel Celebrant, the Charm Stray with 1/1/1 counter, and then the Charm Stray without a +1/1 counter, no matter which creature he puts Desperate Lunge on, the way the damage is going to work is that the only creature at the end of this that should survive is the Charm Stray without a +1/1 counter on it. And that's because when you're assigning damage in this way, you have to assign lethal damage to the first creature you're blocking before you can then assign damage to the next creature. So, because he put Desperate Lunge on the Charm Stray with a +1/1 counter on it, I would have assigned damage, or I should have assigned damage, to the Cruel Celebrant first, which would have been 2 of the 6 damage, then 4 damage to the Charm Stray with a +1/1 counter on it because it's a 2/2, with an additional 2/2 on it because of Desperate Lunge, and that would have been the 6 damage in total. That would have left the remaining Charm Stray alive. We didn't do that here. The Charm Stray with the +1/1 counter is going to live at the end of this, and that is completely my fault for not catching it when I was assigning damage to my blockers. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let's get back to the game.
Okay.
So damage is going to go through.
So this becomes a 4/4.
Even before damage, you still gain 2 life, correct, from the
Yeah,
spell?
I already did that because I was down to
Okay.
12. Yeah.
So then this damage is going to go through. This is now pumped up to a 4/4.
Yeah.
And this is still just a 1/1.
Yeah.
So you're going to gain 5 life.
Up to 19. Oh, what?
This is going to die. This is going to die. This is going to live.
Yeah.
This is going to die.
Yeah.
So you're going to get 2 more triggers.
And you're going to get 2 more damage.
Yeah. So I'm going to go down to 14.
Up to 21.
And then you're going to lose.
Yeah, no,
11.
I think we're done. I think we did all the damage. I'm pretty sure we've calculated everything we needed to. Right? There was a lot of calculating there.
What am I taking this Jace's prediction?
Get him outta
There we go,
here.
there we go. So that's still so this
right.
Jace's prediction is gone.
That's 11.
So you take 11.
From 21 down to 10. Here I was. Look at me go. I'm over my starting life total. Boom.
And then I'm going to -1 her.
And the big boys hit.
To untap. I'll untap the worm. I'm going to tap for 3 and bring out another Guild Pack Informant.
He's good.
And then I'll pass the turn to you.
You know I'm drawing a land here. Because it's like, no, apparently I'm not drawing a land
Still
here.
no land.
Just an utter mediocre 3 draw.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because we keep track of turns during editing, but not when we're actually playing. But at the very least, it's 3, 6, and turn 9. Oh, okay. Yeah.
But for one white and 2 of anything, there's makeshift battalion. Whenever it battalion and at least 2 of the creatures attack, put a +1 counter on makeshift battalion. So I believe they used to call that. There's a word for that, but they didn't use it. Was it battalion?
I'm not sure.
There's because it even came up in one of those decks we were playing. I think the Boros deck, obviously, came up. We had to attack with 3 creatures, or whatever.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember what it was called though. It wasn't like aggression, but it was something. Yeah, it was. There was definitely a term for that before. So it's weird. I guess maybe they just didn't want to bother trying to bring that mechanic back for just one particular card or something. So
it's a 3/2. I still think I'm not doing so good. I'll pass 2 though, because that did tap me out.
Okay. Okay, so draw, and then I get trigger on Jace's projection here. I'm going to move to combat.
Yeah, you know the good thing is it only changed 1 turn of land if I keeping that Pride Mate on top. So I was basically not looking at getting much land here anyway. So we're gonna go with just the big guys.
Okay.
Big guy there. He's a 6/6.
He is now he's 6/6. Yeah.
Big guy there.
Okay.
So I'll be taking 5 at least.
You'll be taking 5,
gaining 2.
gaining 2. So you lose 3. I don't lose. Where am I die for? I don't lose anything this time.
You take your 7 off.
Down
to 7.
When this deals damage, I get to proliferate. So I get another counter on Kyora. And Jace gets a counter as well, too. Those both die, correct?
So here's a mathematical question. Should I have kept the Celebrant around to have 2 more death triggers.
See, it's a tough call. I was wondering that as well too, but I probably would have wanted to gain the extra life at that point and keep that cat alive because then you gain life the next turn. So I personally think you made the right choice.
Mathematically, though, I'm sure there's an equation that says you would have evened out or just made a two mana difference or something, or 2 blight difference.
I'm going to play a forest, and then I'm going to -1 her. Just in case. I'll untap now Jace's Projection, which is now the largest creature on the board. So as a 7/7, and I'll pass the turn to you.
But this one is going to, for the love of.
Still no land.
Still no land. I don't have to discard or anything. So I pass
That
back
was
too.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Gain. Thank you for the reminder. Move to combat.
Yeah.
Swing with everything.
And then some. Yeah. So, okay. So with my original opening hand, I had these guys here. So I mean, that's just a good one unless we draw my Planeswalker.
Yeah.
Only 4 mana. And Gideon's Company, which is like a beefier Ajani's Pridemate.
Yeah.
So whenever you gain life, put 2 +1 counters on Gideon's Company. Now I had Charm Stray. I had that instant speed that I cast. I had Desperate Lunge.
You had the cruel...
Celebrate. At some point I got that. So I had all these life gain things. And and then what do I draw instead of land? I draw another Gideon's Company. 4 mana, which again, that's not...
It's not insurmountable, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And I even drew a second Gideon's Battle Cry. And then even another one of these. Because, man, that is so good when you have something that just needs to gain life. Because not only do you get that life gain trigger, you get the +2/+2 bonus.
And it's one of the exclusive cards as well too. And you had
I just drew that.
Command
was
the Dreadheart.
my
That's one of the
seventh
cards as well
non-land.
too, providing you're not stuck on 3 lands by turn 10. This is one of those cards which, in the end, can turn everything around in a dime. Because one of the scenarios that I sort of mentioned with this card, casting this card late in the game, for a deck where you're also probably gaining a bunch of extra life, is that if you bring back all 4 of your Charm Strays, if they're all in the graveyard, and then your Ajani's Pridemate, you only had to spend 6 life in order to bring back what would enter the battlefield a 1/1, a 2/2, a 3/3, a 4/4, and then a Johnny's Pridemate, which is going to get bigger every time one of those gain life for you as well too. But there's no, I mean, you didn't lose this game. Mana Screw lost you this game.
It happens. But that's why I kept taking the 4 damage. So like, my creatures, little as they are, if I get 1 of these out, if I get 2 of these out, each time they gain life, it's 2 +1 counters.
Yeah.
So a 3/3 becomes a 5/5, becomes beefy board if I could just hit my 4th land. And then if I had life gain off that, the life gain off those instants, Cruel Celebrant.
It's even just not getting the tap land as the first land that had to come out, because then you could have put your Charm Stray out first. If you had a Plains instead, Charm Stray would have been on first, a Johnny's Pridemate, which you scryed up to the top, but still, you still had it in your hand on turn 2.
And I did have 2 lands. It wasn't like I, had 1 land, like, oh, I'm keeping that Pridemate. No, I had 2 lands out of 6 cards. And the Pridemate came up, but I did not.
And the only way I was able to get rid of the Pridemate was because I could do 4 damage to it with this.
Yeah.
If you had gotten a slightly different beginning, like I said, without the tap land, Charm Stray was out there, and Johnny's Pridemate started going up and up and up, you would have been able to, all you would need to get the Johnny's Pridemate to would be 5 toughness. And then me being able to cast that spell would have done absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So you mentioned earlier that between the first game and the second game, we really got to show off what the cards, these decks can do. Obviously, this is not the outcome I was expecting at all. And honestly, if you had got 1 more land, or at least even, like I said, if it hadn't been a tap land in the very opening hand, if you had received your 3rd land a little bit earlier, and if you received your 4th land at all, I still think this might have gone differently.
Because 4 was a magic number. Look at all the 4 I had just waiting for that 4th.
Gideon's Company is nuts. It's absolutely
with what I've
nuts.
had?
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
But it's funny because earlier, a lot of times you choose not to block early on. And when I'm like, he's going to block there, at least I'll eat that guy up. Because I did have one of those Desperate Lunge or whatever. And
it was the only thing that could have turned the tide, and I was like, I gotta hold back. So.
But how much, especially because we were going to block him after a while, how much damage did that guy end up doing over time?
I know.
I mean, I gained a lot of life, obviously.
And he didn't even do anything when he came in other than put an additional counter on Kyora. He's just a 4/4, but he was doing work.
Yeah, because it was just, it's not worth it to lose one of my, because if I could have gotten there, those strays and that Celebrant would have done work on these Gideon's Companies.
You held onto the cats as long as you possibly could, and the Celebrant as long as you possibly could, knowing that 4th land would have changed. I mean, look at the 1 turn you had. Even if you decided after the Gideon's Company came into play, if you decided, I'm going to throw away all the creatures now and just swing in, you would have got triggers off both of the cats. You would have got triggers. If everything died, you've got 3 additional triggers.
On Celebrant.
So that's 10 +1/+1 counters.
Yeah.
the game, it would have been different. The outcome of this, I don't think is typical. But if I'm wrong, if you guys have had a chance to play with these decks more than like a few times, let me know. Maybe I was completely off base. Maybe this deck does have more legs than I thought. But once again, I didn't have anything on board till turn 4 or 3 or something. I had Kyora out in turn 3. Yeah. I had this out in turn 4. If that had happened during the second game, I already would have been dead. So
I like when I saw Kyora come out. Kyora?
Yeah.
Kyora. Because I'm like, sweet, I can attack without, worrying about killing my Stray, and I'll get my counter on my Pride Mate right off the bat. I'm fine with this. This is good.
And I did get to play one of the Planeswalkers, which was kind of nice as well, too.
Yeah.
I didn't get to read off Jace, so I'll just do that quickly at the end here.
Is there a second Planeswalker?
There is. Kaya's in that deck. So the Planeswalker, the Jace Planeswalker for this deck is Jace Arcane Strategist. For 4 and 2 blue, you get a forward loyalty Planeswalker. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Love that static ability on this card, especially in this deck. We saw how useful that could be. His +1 ability is draw a card, which I'm not normally crazy about with a Planeswalker, or Planeswalker Deck Planeswalker, because it costs 6 to get out, and then all you do is to get to draw a card.
Yeah.
But with his static ability, most of the time it's going to be +1 loyalty, draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. And his -7 is creatures you control can't be blocked this turn. Now, normally it's almost impossible to get off their ultimate.
Yeah.
But in this deck, with Proliferate, with things like Jace's Protection, which can put extra counters on it, it's very likely you could get Jace up to 7 at least once in a game if you luck out with some of the cheaper Proliferate cards, or even just having a couple of the guild packs.
See, that's one thing with me and Proliferate. I have yet to fully wrap my head around Proliferate with Planeswalkers, because I don't, and other than these decks, we have not historically played a lot of Planeswalkers.
No.
But I've loved playing counters in all kinds of decks I've played, so I'm always just thinking counters. But yeah, you're right. Once you really get the Proliferate going with the Planeswalker, you suddenly, that ultimate, which is just, you're not even thinking about it because it's never really an issue.
Yeah.
Suddenly you got to have that in your head, because, and the thing about that too is that can be done, there's a lot of Proliferate that can be done at instant speed.
Yeah.
Some at end step, Proliferate, well now,
yeah,
you Proliferate before your turn, or end of end step, beginning of your turn pre-combat or something like that, and then you do an ultimate, and it's like,
yeah.
Well, I was not seeing that coming. I thought I had 3 turns or something like that, because it changes the clock on the Planeswalkers.
Oh, 100%. There's been times I haven't bothered to swing in on a Planeswalker that my opponent had yet during combat, because I knew it wasn't going to get to its ultimate for a while. But like you said, if instant speed, all of a sudden you cast a couple cards that have Proliferate attached to it, then it could actually have made it on your end step. It could have made it to that sweet spot of being able to cast the ultimate. I love the design of these uncommon Planeswalkers.
Yeah, I'm a bigger fan of them than I thought it was going to be at first.
Static abilities, not being able to gain counters on their own, but all put into a set with Proliferate cards.
Yeah.
Such a good design for something which I didn't think would work at all.
No, I mean, I still think story-wise, it hurts. Because you basically, you de-rank Cure, who's a great Planeswalker, into a lesser, comparison-wise, very much lesser than a whole handful of like rare and mythic Planeswalkers.
Yeah, the way I see it is that they're not given. Some of them are given uncommon status because like no one even knows them. Like, are they brand new ones, or else they were the ones from like the Global Series ones that haven't had. I like to think that they were given status based on their storyline status, and not their actual power level. So it was just, but
and that's strictly a story thing, nothing to do with the actual gameplay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but no, these
there are a lot of fan favorites that got dumped in the uncommon, and people are like, I don't get it. Why is like this one like even one of them was a really powerful one, Nahiri.
Yeah,
really powerful Planeswalker, and historically a very powerful Planeswalker card game wise.
Yeah,
uncommon like.
But her even then, her uncommon Planeswalker card is still pretty good.
Yeah, they're good. But now, like, she's literally like a rarity shift from Sorin. It's like, I bet he rubs that in too. He's like, oh, it's the uncommons. Like, you know they're jerks about that.
Yeah, they all talk about their rarities when they're not. Yeah, I got bumped into Mythic this set. Oh, I'm rare. So and she's back down to not back down. She's just reintroduced demotion.
They had to make a new level for you.
The good news is you made the cut. You're in the set. Yeah. Bad news.
I don't know how to put this. They made a class just for you, directly below a lot of your competition.
But hey, you're not Pauper yet, so don't worry. You're okay.
Yet.
So there you guys go. That was the Planeswalker Deck Showdown, which was surprising. So now the next next round of this is going to be Domri versus Jace. So that's going to be the next showdown between the Planeswalker decks. However, the very next episode after this one will most likely be our post pre-release showdown, the first ever we've done here on the channel. Loading Ready Run gets to do the pre-release. We get to do the post pre-release, which is awesome. I'm so glad I sponsored it.
Yeah, I was about to say, so glad. We're just do that. Nope.
No.
Can't say that.
I went out, I bought some pre-release kits after the pre-release. Once I knew that I wouldn't be taking them away from anyone who wanted to participate in the pre-release. And
oh, nice.
I don't want to do that, right? Like if someone's going to sell
I'll walk out the pre-release and
just turn on my credit card.
These kids just looking around like
just leave. So I've done a video which will be out before that particular match comes out, showing you my card pool, opening up all the cards, and then going through my deck building process. You guys can sort of give feedback. However, we're about to record the post pre-release showdown right after this, and the other video will have already been out. So you can give me feedback. You can tell me what you would have done differently, but I'm not going to be able to apply that. So if you watch the opening for my post pre-release kit,
future pre-release, post pre-releases though
I'm going to try to get it so that it matches up a little bit better where you have some time, but we also want to get these out as quickly as possible. So I'm not doing the post pre-release 8 weeks after the sets come out. So.
And there's a lot of Magic the Gathering happening right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't just mean like Friday nights, like there's a lot of product that came out and you always try to buy the new products and have them. So
we've recorded 2 Challenger Deck Showdowns, which haven't even hit the channel yet because we haven't been able to fit it in between the Guild Kit Showdowns, between the new Planeswalker decks and everything like that. So we're eventually going to get it. We also did the retro one ages ago with the Nemesis pre-con decks.
Has that one not aired yet?
That one hasn't aired yet. I haven't even tempted because I had to leapfrog that and start doing more Guild Kit stuff, right? Yeah. So there are so many videos that the footage is all shot. It just needs to be edited. So I'm well ahead. And I'm going to try, this is May, when this is being recorded, the beginning of May. I'm going to try to get a bunch of Mana Caves out as quickly as possible. So this being one of them, the post pre-release showdown being one of them, Challenger decks as well too. Then I'm going to jump back to the Guild Kits, and then eventually I'm going to get that retro one out. There's also some other games that I'll be playing. The Transformers trading card game. I've got broken down. We are going to bring Yu-Gi-Oh! Some people have asking for it. Some people are going to be shocked that I'm doing this.
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, there's going to be Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle going on. Star Wars Destiny is coming back, which is the one I'm most excited about because I really love playing that game. So Travis is not going to be involved with those ones. Steve is going to be coming back. He's been doing Keyforge with me. There's also other Keyforge matches that have been recorded that haven't been released yet. So yeah, a lot's coming to the channel. Regular board games as well too. By the end of the year, hopefully Dungeons and Dragons. Oh my God. It's time to end the video though, because we've talked way too long. I'm getting way too hyped. I'm all hopped up on Mike's hard peach lemonade. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sweating. That's how excited I got. Travis, anything else you want to say before I explode?
No.
Okay. See you guys in the next video.